Okay. Alrighty, so would you be possibly suffering or dealing with fears that stop you from succeeding? And I know success is different to all of us. However, let's break down what success might be for you watching this video where fear's stopping you. Maybe you've got fears of making a phone call, which is hindering your ability to bring more business in and make more money. Maybe you've got fears of going and speaking at an event and presenting and promoting your services to attract more clients into your business. Maybe you've got fears of being able to go and do a webinar and market yourself online and run a workshop that enrolls people, and you've got fears around this that is really stopping you and debilitating you from really achieving your success, to share your passion, to help more people, to sell more products and services, to increase your sales revenue, to make more money, which can all affect how you live your life, how it helps you to help you and your family have a better life. So a lot of people can have a lot of fears, and what is it that stops us, and what can we do to get past that? Would you like to know? Because I can tell you. Okay, all right, so this is a model that I've drawn up for you, and this is actually, I've taken this model, excuse me, I might look a bit much at the moment, but I've taken this model from how we learn everything, if that's what it's called, the 4 stages of learning. And I've attached some newer language to it to help make it a bit more cool and not so psychological and scientific. So hopefully it'll help you either get a refresher on what you can do to get past fear so you can go and succeed more. Because there's nothing wrong with you. You're totally normal and human, and we all deal with the same stuff. However, there are ways and processes that we can manage ourselves and things that we can do that can allow us to go on and shine and prosper and really live happier, better lives and build better careers and build better businesses. Anyway, enough of the rant. Let's look at the process. So why don't we pick one? How about we pick one? How about we pick that you want to run your own webinar, right? And you want to have 50 people on your webinar, and you want to effectively enroll them into your products and services that you deliver through the webinar. So let's pick that one. It works for anything, right? However, we have more fear around things that mean more to us. Your fear to maybe go and hit a golf ball might make you feel a little nervous because you've never done it before, but it's not going to have a huge amount of impact on you from a money and emotional perspective. So you'll just go do these things, but don't have as much emotion around it. Whereas if it's to get paid, or if you're being paid $50 an hour and then you want to move your payment up to $200 an hour, your self-worth and value and beliefs and all these things and skill set come into it, and fear really comes in. So let's get back to the webinar. Okay, so let's say you're 10 years old. You don't know that a webinar even exists. Well, some 10-year-olds might, but let's just say for this example, you don't even know that a webinar exists. You're not even interested. You're playing outside with your friends. You don't even know that it exists. You don't know what you don't know. Then all of a sudden you find yourself in business, and you're doing whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, and as a trainer or as a coach or a speaker, and you want to run a webinar. And you've never run one before, and you've seen all these other people do it, and you decide that you want to do it. And all of a sudden you feel this fear of, I could never do that, right? Let's just say that's what comes up in the mind. So we get to this level, which is, I know that I now know that I don't know something, right? So this is in the old language, I'm consciously incompetent. So I know I don't know something, and it really means a lot to me because I've decided that I want to do webinars, but I get all these fears and thoughts come up, which are things like this. So what happens at this level is we get an emotion called fear. Now, what is fear? Fear is an emotion designed to protect us from a perceived danger, and our brain's trying to do this great thing to protect us because it says, you are going into the unknown. You don't know how to do this. Danger, you could get hurt. It comes from our primal, when we're primates on the land, fear came to protect us, fight or flight, right? And what happens to most people? If they let this false evidence appearing real, in the words of Zig Ziglar, take over, and we just stopped, right? We never get to fulfill on our dream to run a beautiful webinar and help more people, right? So what can we do to push through the fear? What can we do to break through? Well, the first thing is we need to watch our mind, the thinker as I call it. The mind, however it works, it comes up with thoughts that gives us energy to stop us and keep us safe. You might know these thoughts. Oh, it won't work. Don't worry about it. It won't work. Or I can't do that. I could never do that. Oh, you know what? I'll learn to do the webinar next year when the kids leave school. Or I'll learn to do the webinar when I've painted the cupboard and then I've finished that project, right? Designed to protect us. Or you might even just feel sick and you get sick and you get so locked up, you just can't even do anything at all, right? Because some of you I know deal with some pretty big stuff emotionally, and we've all been on our journey, no judgment. However, that emotion of sickness and lockdown is our greatest fear protecting us. But let's say you get all of that and you say, Trevor, I've got it. What can we do to push through? Well, we need to make a decision, right? People that make decisions and stick with it long after the motivation's gone are the ones that truly succeed and push through fear, right? So we decide that we want to run a webinar. Then we go to work and do some study, right? We start learning, we buy a book, we do an online program, we go to a course, and we study how to do a webinar is what we do, right? And we get support. And I've put it in red because it's so important in this part of this learning process, because so often if you're trying to do it on your own, you'll generally give up. Most people will I'm not saying you, but most people will generally give up, especially if there's a lot of fear around it, right? It's like the brain really does a great job to protect you, stop you, and you get sidetracked and off you go and you don't fulfill on your goals and dreams, which is why many, many people are stuck, even in situations that they hate, because it's scary to change than actually stay where they're at, even though they hate it, right? It takes a lot of courage to make a decision and stick with it, right? So you've got to decide. Do the study, get lots of support in this part. You can do it. It's okay. This is how you do it. This is what we do. Break it down. How do I do it? I'm scared. That's the next step. That's the next step. Support. You can do it, right? And then you go and do your webinar, right? And you practice it. Now, this is the other greatest challenge as human beings, especially in the Western world. I've got to get it perfectly right. What if it fails? What if no one shows up? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's how we learn. It's how we learn through trial and error. And there's this whole thing about people not wanting to fail or not quite get it the way they wanted, so they do nothing. But I'm going to tell you, if you want to succeed and you want a better result, you're going to have to either embrace it, if you don't already get this, that some things are not going to work. Some things are going to need to be changed and reviewed and refined. But if you stay with it, you stay with your goal and you see it through, you'll get to the point where you'll go, I'm starting to get it. I see what's happening here. We tweak this, we do that. You're now moving to your knowing and your learning. So you know what to do and you're learning, right? I ran a webinar last week. There were some things that went really well. There were some things that didn't go so well. If Mel Groom, you're watching this, right? I went through some learning, but now I'm taking my own advice. I'm taking it, I'm changing it, I'm refining it, and I'm back on the horse, right? Because I want to make it work, right? So you know and you're learning. And then you keep going, you keep refining, you run another one and then another one to eventually you just know and you've got it, which we call mastery. Unconscious competence. You would know this in other areas of your life where you are just masterful at what you do and you just do it. And if you were to reflect back, if it's a really big thing that you've learned to do, and you look back, whatever skill, I imagine at some level you've gone through this process, right? So I hope that helps you, ladies and gentlemen, watching why you can't get past fear and what you can do about it, which is if you get stopped here because you don't you're not aware of these things, the mind, what it does to protect us, not stop us, to protect us, and the decision, the study, the support, the practice, the review, the refine, right? Gets us to get past our fear to live and achieve more of the goals and the dreams that we want to have, right? Helpful? Cool. Because here's one more thing that you may not like when I tell you this. This thing takes discipline and not one thing, three things actually. It takes discipline, it takes some courage, and it takes some practice. So if I was going to invite you to bring in any more of a quality into yourself, it would be the courage to go and keep going and push through, because here's the thing, no one cares. Show up, do it, don't do it, make the call, run the webinar, do the talk, do the presentation. No one cares. I know that sounds harsh. It's only ourselves that care, okay? If we show up, people will support us. If we don't, oh, well, that's the way it goes and they're off living their life. So please stand guard at the door of your mind. Watch what you think, work it. And if I can be of any help, I'm here for you to help you push through to get past fear so you can have more of what you want out of your business and life. Thank you for watching. My name's Trevor Russell. Leave a comment below if you found this interesting or helpful. And I look forward to speaking to you. And I've got lots of great stuff coming up for you. And I'm going to run around the back here now and turn my camera off. And ciao for now.